Did you heard about the eighth wonder of the world? The line, see this. New footage has emerged demonstrating that the line is indeed being constructed. However, the Megaproject has received nothing but negative attention, with the majority of people claiming it is simply impossible. But now that construction has officially begun, will the Megaproject become a new way of life? Or will it be a trillion-dollar commercial failure? The Saudi Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, first revealed the line in July 2022. This announcement sparked worldwide interest, not only because it is the most insane megaproject ever, but also because it introduces humanity to a new way of life. The prince is building a 170-kilometer-long line that is only 200 meters wide. Within the linear city, there will be no cars, and everything will be within a 5-minute walk. It is designed to run entirely on renewable energy from wind and solar farms. Mohammed bin Salman hopes that his line project will attract 9 million residents while also creating 380,000 new jobs. Saudi Arabia sincerely believes it can change humanity's course to a better way of life. Because of these massive plans, the line has become the most viral mega project in history, with nearly 50 million views on YouTube alone. The trailers, however, leave everyone with one question. Is this a real project or a clever way for Saudi Arabia to gain international attention? While everyone was talking about the line, there was no word on when construction would begin. 3 months after the Crown Prince announced his plans, however, everything changed. On the 19th of October, 2022, Saudi Arabia released official drone footage of the construction site, and what it shows is rather surprising. The foundation of the line is clearly visible in the video, with a large amount of machinery digging the shape for the mega project. This shot clearly shows that they've already traveled a long distance, almost reaching the mountains in the background. And in this time lapse, you can see hundreds of excavators. If we had to guess, the line is now 6 to 10 miles long and heading directly for the mountains. This footage is approximately 40 days old, implying that the project is likely much longer. However, many experts believe that the linear city will never look as futuristic as it does in the trailers because the line is unique to humanity. We can only guess what will happen. We believe the line can be divided into 5 scenarios. Feature scenario number 1 is that the line actually looks like all of the trailers we've all seen up to this point, in which case Saudi Arabia is making some incredible claims. They claim that they can build a project of this scale that has never been done before. However, if the country devotes all of its resources to its ambitious plans, it may succeed. However, the scenario appears to be quite unrealistic. Certain aspects of their grand plan, such as having a car-free city or only using renewable energy, are unquestionably feasible. When you consider the actual size of the line, it's simply illogical to believe this project will succeed. The line would be 500 meters tall, roughly the same height as some of New York's billionaires' row skyscrapers. The linear city is essentially a 170 kilometers wide skyscraper, whereas a typical tower of that size is only 50 meters. Not to mention that they would have to build it twice in parallel, which would take far too long, making the first scenario unrealistic. The second scenario, on the other hand, appears to be far more likely. The second scenario is that the construction of the lines will be halted within the next few months or years, and the project will be repurposed. For example, even if only 1 mile of the line is built and the project is abandoned, it could still serve as an excellent tourist attraction. Instead of housing and offices, the line could be filled with hotels and recreational facilities such as an amusement park or a beach. Saudi Arabia would be remembered for building the line, and people would be introduced to a new way of life. This scenario is preferable to the project being abandoned and never used again. That brings us to scenario number 3. Consider how construction on the line is halted when it is already a mile-long project. What should Saudi Arabia do with it? They really only have one choice: allow it to rot. This appears to be a trend among Middle Eastern megaprojects. What happened to the Jeddah Tower and the Dubai Creek Tower will almost certainly happen to the line as well. All of these construction projects have one thing in common: they are all very ambitious and unique. If they can't even get these skyscraper projects to work, how can they expect a project 100 times the size to succeed? This scenario, however, appears less likely to become a reality now that the line has received international attention. Saudi Arabia is in the spotlight. If the project is not completed, the country will be embarrassed. Bringing this megaproject to completion is a fantastic opportunity to bring more tourists and investors to Saudi Arabia, but even if they don't, there are other scenarios that will save the project. This is the case for scenario number 4, because the massive scale of the line appears unlikely to be built. What if the project is smaller in scope? We all know the line will be 170 kilometers long and 500 meters tall, but what if these measurements change? The city is divided into sections that are only a 5-minute walk apart. Saudi Arabia may decide to halt construction after a certain number of sections, making the project much shorter while keeping it alive. This is preferable to abandoning or repurposing the project entirely. Another possibility is to reduce the project's height. It would even if they went with half of its original height. It will still be a tall megaproject, roughly the height of the Eiffel Tower. As a result, fewer people will be able to join the queue, reducing the population from 9 million to 1.3 million. However, this would not be a major issue because Saudi Arabia could expand the city if there is enough demand for it. But there's one more possibility we haven't considered. What if the line megacity is cancelled as a result of all the controversies surrounding it? Since the project's announcement, a number of issues have arisen that Saudi Arabia must address. However, not everyone agrees on Saudi Arabia's approach to these issues. For example, several communities must relocate to make way for the megaproject. In addition, many Saudis who spoke out against the government's plans have been kidnapped by Saudi security forces. And when all of the country's human rights issues are considered, this no longer appears to be a good investment. Many commercial partners have already backed out of the humanitarian agreement. And if enough people did this, the project would fail. Which of these scenarios will become a reality can only be determined by time. But if you thought this was all there was to know about the line, you were mistaken. So, now what do you think about the line? Write down in comment box. And thank you for your time.